Welcome to How I Became Your Mother. I'm Kalila Black, and this isn't just a podcast. This is my living manifestation journal. Here, I document my journey, past, present, and future, as I become the woman I've always dreamed of being your mother. I speak like my future child is already listening, and I share it out loud for anyone becoming right alongside me. So, listen, this title it came about because I realized that over the last couple of years, um, and probably just majority of my life, a lot of my energy, and especially publicly, has been around my mother and not too much around my father. And that's rightfully so. Our relationship has gone through many, many, many phases and stages. And so I figured now it's time, especially with these new happenings. So you already know this, my future kid, by now, but let's update everyone. Let's get everybody together. So my father is from California. He is from a northern part of California, but spent a lot of his life in Los Angeles, a lot of my life in Los Angeles, and he currently lives here. And in February, I moved mommy out of the apartment that we were sharing into a nursing facility. And then it was time for me to move out somewhere else because we gave up that apartment. And in the interim, while I was looking for a place for my own, my father offered his place for me to stay. And I've been living here for a couple of weeks, and all of the memories and things came flooding back. And I'm like, this is a good time to share the vibes, right? So that's what the impetus of this topic is. All right. This is an update. So as you know, that's what's going on in my life in terms of dating, where your father is. Listen, I've been getting some real hearty, hefty vibes that your father is coming around the corner very, very strong. Very, very strong. Very, very strong. So I'm just going to say that I think all is on track. All is on track. And when I have more to report, will report more. But let's just start with where my relationship with my father was, and what wound up happening. So after my parents divorced when I was like 17 months, I moved back to New York with my mother, and my father moved back to California because they were both leaving the military. And during that time, they had a divorce agreement in their 20s. And that was it. The agreement was that I was going to spend summers in LA, and then I was going to spend winter, or like the school year, in New York. And then my father was supposed to give a certain amount of money every month, every month, indefinitely, of child support to assist. Like, that was the agreement. Now, my earliest recollection of seeing him and like communicating with him is probably when I was around like 6. And I remember getting phone calls from him, and by this time I was reading at probably like a 3rd, 4th grade level because I've always been pretty bright. So by 1st grade, I was already ahead. And I remember he used to call me and always ask me to recite my ABCs. And that used to piss me off because if it further, at that time, it just used to emphasize how separate we were. Because I'm like, who is this man? I don't know how he looks. I don't know what it is. And why does he keep asking me stuff that is so stupid? Like, it's just whatever. So around the time when At that time, my father and mother, I guess, wound up feeling good enough with each other that he could come and visit me in New York. So then he came and we spent a great deal of time in New York. And then after that, I started spending summers there. But that was at around 8 years old, where I would go over there and go to California and spend a few weeks over there and then come back. But the issue was that during this time, my parents were still not necessarily cordial. Like, they were not friendly. So there wasn't a lot of like healthy communication going back. And then during that time, around the time I was like 10 or 11, my mother wound up filing for unpaid child support, which put my father at a deadbeat status. So it changed the trajectory of a lot of his dealings and his working and a lot. And it also that changed our relationship because he had a lot of anger and a lot of animosity towards my mother because he didn't understand. He thought that she should have shared some of the receipts. Like, he wasn't all the way up to date, but I guess he had given her some money and he was upset that it said no. Either way, that caused a lot of issues back and forth. And the other thing is that, like, my father and I didn't have like a relationship around who my friends are, like, what's the day to day. Like, I didn't understand why he couldn't be in on my life even though we were long distance. So around my high school years, I stopped electing to go over there. I wanted to work in New York. I was a little more closed-minded and I was a little more irritable with him because in hindsight, it's like, oh, I probably could have asked him to procure me a summer job or like thought ahead of time, but I didn't. We weren't that close. So I stopped electing to go over there. And during that time of high school and then college, I visited him in 2008, brought my friends to California. We kind of like had an okay time, but the real breakthrough of our relationship didn't happen until after I took this course called Momentum Education, and it causes you to face your relationship with your parents. And then I told him about what I wasn't happy with and all of these things, and we had this breakthrough and all of that, and I wound up forgiving him. And just but at that time it was just more so like the forgiveness was like you didn't have necessarily what it takes. Like, you didn't have what it took. You didn't know, like, this was whack, the fact that I don't have a relationship with you the way that I wanted to, but it's okay. It is what it is. Like, that's kind of where I was. And then I feel like it was like 4 years ago, I was having a conversation with my father about just my dreams and what I'm doing, and just, because he's very, very proud of me. And another thing is, the same way my mother wanted to be an actor, studied acting, my father also had acting dreams, aspirations, studied it. In fact, they met in a talent show in the military because they both wanted to perform. And so that's a thing. Like, he wanted to be an actor. Like, that's important. We'll come back to that. Like, he had the same dreams. So I just remember there's so many parts of my life in my childhood where it was such a great moment, and I did have support. I had my mommy, I had my aunties, I had my grandmother, but I did not have my father. There were certain things, like, he didn't make it to my high school graduation. He didn't make it to my college graduation. Like, there's certain moments of things where he didn't make it. He made it to a lot of shows. He made it to other things, but I used to feel like, why was I given a person who doesn't know how to love me right? Like, who's not excited about being with me, who doesn't care a lot about me in the way that I would want a father to care about their daughter. And one of these other things that used to trigger me is every time I would get around my stepmom, around, liquor be opening the boomers up, she would talk about how what made her fall in love with my father was that he was recording books, color books, and like books to send to me as a kid. He would make these packages, but I never received those packages. He never sent them off like that. So I'm thinking, like, in hindsight now, when we think about the things that's on our to-do list and what we're doing, he never actually sent those packages off. So that was really triggering for me, because my stepmother would be like, how much your father loves you, and he loves you so much, and you just don't know he loves you. And I'm like, you may feel that way, but the love, the actual tangible love during the time where I was crying, going through things with my mom, that was not visible. That wasn't there. So please stop. Like, I'm not getting that. Just because you saw him recording some stuff, that worked on you. You got that. You got him. He wound up marrying you and continuing to raise your children. He wasn't raising me. And I'm younger than them. So these would be the thoughts that would be going on in my head. And then I started reading and just researching around parental forgiveness and then purpose. And I'm realizing that if I believe, which I do, I believe that we choose our parents not based off of what they will do for us, because there's no way we will know that at that time. Everything is free will, but based off of the genetic potential that they have and those genes being able to fulfill the mission during this time period. And I started just massaging those ideas, just massaging that idea, playing with the idea, like, how does that sound? How does that feel? And I'm like, well, if I were to look at it like that, what qualities do they have, Davine and William, my parents, that would make me choose them? And I'm like, well, they're both nerds, supremely intelligent, very, very nerds. They're both very, very charming, very, very talented. They both had the desire to perform and the desire to use their strengths and talents to be a light. And then I just, was like, wow, I just started thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, I could, that idea sounds like I could rock with that. Like, if it were only about, if I'm rating my parents based off of their gene capacity versus their behavior as a human being, it feels more, it feels softer, it feels more like wholesome, because it is highlighting the good parts of them, the godly parts of them, the stuff that's in them, the legacy, the genealogy, versus the choices that they get to make as a human being. So that was one level up notch on the like, okay, I did choose him. I was supposed to come through him. The other thing that like really, really floored me was when I was just talking to Daddy, and I was like, yeah, I'm about to go do this, I'm about to do that, but I just saying something, and I'm like, trust me. I'm like, Daddy, you think that's a crazy idea? Or you want to trust me? You trust in me? And he's like, I learned a long time not to trust you. I learned a long time not to question your judgment on your life, because you make it work. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was talking about how, and I don't even remember this conversation, but I guess when he talked to me towards my senior year of high school, and he asked me about Juilliard. And for those of you who know, I went to LaGuardia High School, which is the famed school. It's world-renowned. Marlon Brando, Marlon Wayans, Rosie Perez. A lot of people went there. Jennifer Aniston is very known. And a lot of people who go to the high school go, or at least audition for Juilliard. Juilliard is the school across the street. It's a conservatory. It's, everything. Everybody know about Juilliard. And I had told him that I wasn't even auditioning for Juilliard. Like I wasn't even going to try. I didn't even want to go there. And I wasn't close enough to him to tell him why I wasn't going there. I told him, like, the real reason I wasn't auditioning for Juilliard, unbeknownst to him, was that my spirit was broken around acting. I was not placed in the SDF in my spring drama festival. I didn't even graduate with my drama diploma from LaGuardia because I didn't do well in the Regents or something. Basically, I was not doing well there. And that was a result of what I was experiencing with my mother with her addiction. I was in a very dark place in high school because she was really, really binging a lot. And it was a lot of tumultuous stuff in the house. And I had this freedom and I had all these hormones. And then when I would go to school and I would be compared to all of these white actors and these white kind of ways about being, like, I just remember mad notes from my drama teachers around emoting and around me not looking and being the way that they felt it should be, I guess. And in hindsight, like during that time, I didn't realize I was being, like, I didn't know I was disconnected. I didn't know that the only reason I wasn't liking acting was because they was trying to fit me in some mold that I wasn't in. I was just like, oh, maybe I'm trash. Like they're not hiring me. They're not casting me. Like, and when I left, I was like, I'm definitely not going to Juilliard if it's going to be more of the same. And I even told my mom, like, maybe I should go to the military. Like, maybe I should do what y'all did and go to the military, because if it's not Juilliard, who knows? But I say all that to say, when I had told my father, I was like, I'm not auditioning at Juilliard. I told him that I wanted to go to a HBCU as well, because I had went on an HBCU tour, and my school, A&T, was the only school. Well, that and them and Howard, us and Howard are the only schools that were accredited, the HBCUs for theater at that time. And so I told him I was going there. Now, he said that because we were not close, because we didn't have that bond, that bond that I wanted us to have, that friend, like, down, you call your daddy and like, hey daddy, let's talk, let's run these ideas by each other. What are you doing? And like, healthy, and let's talk about these problems, and let's talk about this. We didn't have that. But because we didn't have that bond, he didn't feel comfortable enough trying to dissuade me or enforcing his opinions around Juilliard and around what paths he should have taken, or what paths I should have taken. And that was a big aha moment for me, because the advice, 9 times out of 10, especially if you're dealing with the same field, the advice he was going to be sharing with me is likely going to be the same advice that has him where he is. And where he is a person, a person who is working, who wanted to be an actor, but who wound up working to provide for themselves in a more stable way, because they didn't see how acting could be sustaining. And so he was trying to have me follow this blueprint that he didn't even follow, but that he thought was the best, And so I'm, in hindsight, I'm like, if I would have went to Juilliard, I don't think I would have finished. I don't think I would have finished school. I don't think I would have, because that wasn't supposed to be for me. I needed the travel piece. I needed the community. I needed the blackness. I needed the small pond, the big fish in a small pond energy that going to A&T got me. It was able to build my confidence up, where I was able to be more of the star of the department at that time, or not the star, but I did a lot of shows at the department, and instead of going to Juilliard and going to a big pond fighting, like, it gave me that confidence where I could feel like I could do whatever. And I'm like, wow, if I was a daddy's girl at that time, I would have been washed. And then I just started thinking about I have so much evidence of friends especially I won't forget this in middle school. You know how everybody in middle school, like you always start a girl group. So we had mad girl groups, and a couple of my friends, two of my friends had good voices, like could hold a tune. And I remember we used to one of them, she used to download lyrics, and we would practice at school, practice. And I'm like, yes, we about to do this, we about to do that, like we about to go on tour, we about to do that. And I remember there was one day where we all came in, and both of them, like it was me and there was the other two girls, and one was Nigerian, and another one, she was just an older fashioned woman. Um, and they both was like, I can't really be pursuing this. Like this is my mom said that I can't actually, that I have to be a doctor. Like I can't really be trying to be a star. Like that's not a thing. And I was so confused because all of the conversations that I had in my home around me being a star were supported. Was, okay, that's what you want to do. Yeah, you could do this, you could do that. Like it never gave choose something more realistic. It never gave you can't do this. Look at the odds. Like so I'm like thinking about the gift that I had of no obstacles from the parental, even in his absence. I'm like his absence was a gift at that space. Like so much so that he now has talked to me so many times about how he'd had his own regrets around our closeness. And he's like, sometimes I think about these theories and these mantras and these lessons, and I'm like, oh, I wish I could have spoken to Kalila about this. I wish I could have taught her that, this and this and that. And then we have a conversation, and I realize you know it. You have it. You have the tools. You were given it. And I just feel so blessed. And I was like, oh, Daddy, like, that's so cool. And I'm like, yeah, I did get blessed with the desire, that hunger to learn and to be better, and to like pad my information and knowing with other things. So even if there are stuff that I didn't learn, like I didn't really learn how to cook, but that became a goal of mine. I wanted to learn at least. I was like, let me at least start with my favorite food, the stuff that I like to eat. Let me learn it. So yeah, we are a good match. We are a good match. Like I used his genes to make him better. I used his genes, and was able, and also I'm able to bring him a lot of joy through legacy. Like through the things that I do, like he gets to live on through those things. And I'm defining new ways to be connected to him and close now that we have our own identities. For example, we went to the family reunion last year. It was so much fun. And he had brought his Texas Hold'em game, which I had no idea that he knew how to play. And he didn't know I knew how to play. And I didn't, and in hindsight, I'm now realizing that not a lot of people know how to play poker. I learned how to play poker in Singapore when I was in Hong Kong. When I was in Disneyland, one of the guys would host a Monday night poker night, and I wanted to learn. And I learned, and it's mad fun. And now this is something that me and my father can do. We had a blast. The other day we just made some bread. He got a bread maker, and we made bread. And I'm like, if this isn't the most wholesome, calmest thing of all time. Like at the family reunion, we had a dance. So it feels like more of a both and. I don't have memories of him, waking me up every day and hugging me and all of that. But I do have our summers of high energy and Disneyland and Raging Waters and tennis lessons and swimming lessons and cooking and dancing and laughing and family reunions and my cousins and my aunts. Like even while I was there, even during that time, he did what he could do. He did the best. And I'm like, just thinking about being 20 something How old was he? No, he was 32. And I'm like, the bandwidth that I have and had at 32 to be in a long distance um custody thing without the technology that is present, with the animosity, with the like in the 80s and 90s, is like very it's more difficult. It's definitely gotten a lot easier to be connected and to stay connected, and especially thinking about the tools that he had from his family and what he went through. And I'm just like, oh, like thinking about how people really are trying their best even in every moment. Like even in every moment, that choice feels like the best choice at that time. So this topic was really important to me because I realized that it really is perspective. Like there, you know, both of those things are mad true. Like I was dumb hurt that my father was in another state across the country for mad times in my life. But it was for the better. And we have time now to build. And he has done what he can with the tools that he has where he is right now to support and to build and to show his love. And that's what I'm focusing on. Not erasing, but realizing that I have the opportunity to build and to foster a relationship that is not the same as the one um that we had before, where I didn't know him and I had just this. I felt like I wasn't, like I must be a whack daughter, like he must have wanted a son. And I must not be enough because he's over there raising those boys over there and not me. Because I'm his only biological child. My stepmother had children when they got married. So I wanted to share that I do feel like everything happens for a reason and multiple things can be the case at once. And even though um I don't have those childlike OD daddy's girl memories, I do have an opportunity to create adult ones. And I'm seizing that. What I want you to know is that parents are not perfect. I know I've hurt your feelings by now. Um, Hopefully not in no way that's like super duper 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 traumatic. Um, thus far, but I know that my humanness has shown up. I know your father's humanness has shown up, especially with you being a preteen. And I just want you to know that. Well, I wanted to say this episode, you know, speak over this episode so that you can hear my experience with my parents. And then it also will be a reminder to me, if you need, to think about things from potentially your perspective. You know, to put to the same way I'm putting myself back in my 7-year old, 8-year old, 13-year old, 20-year old shoes. I want to do that with you so that I can make choices that support our relationship and don't re traumatize you. I also want to emphasize the importance of forgiveness, because forgiveness is really about the person. Like my heart was hurting thinking about being um left to the side and not thought of, and just thinking about like, wow, like I'm I don't have a father. Like times are bad. Like yeah, okay, I've been on this, I did that, I got these grades, but y'all have a father in your house. That's what an experience. What a time. Um and realizing like, wow, like I'm still supposed to be here. I was supposed to come from him, and we were supposed to have this relationship. And I want you to understand that coming to those terms has eased my mind, eased my heart, and also just giving me an understanding of humanity and how every single human makes mistakes. So since every human on this planet makes mistakes, I think that the mistake meter needs to be adjusted, because it's not even a situation where we only make one mistake once. We fail every day, all the time. So hopefully this episode has given you new perspective and ways. And the things that I've done is I've journaled about it. So I journaled like what kind of so at first I journaled about the ways I felt hurt by him. Then I journaled about the ways I felt loved by him. And then I journaled about the new ways that I would want for our relationship to be. And if there is someone that you want to get over things with, I think the even in the middle of working the process of how to get from point A to B, the biggest thing that I would do is to think about what your B is. And I definitely have thought about us gambling together, me getting him his own little spot with my coin, him and his wife, a nice little spot, just splurging, just giving him that luxury that I'm going to have, that also comes with the certain level of work that I'm able to do. So yeah, this was episode, I don't even know the number. It's been so long. But we back in this thing. So now we're gonna move on to the soul question, and I get this from the New York Times article a long time ago that is 36 questions to fall in love, and allegedly, if you do this with someone, and um, you will be that much closer to falling in love. So I just want to learn you to know me, and how I answer these questions, and yeah. So it says alternate sharing what you consider to be a positive trait about your partner. Do a total of 5. So since this is one way and I'm going towards you, I'm just going to feel what I feel through our genes. You are, and this is for all my seeds listening, all of them listening, because this is going to be the through line in between them. You are compassionate. You are grounded. You are confident. You are um generous, and you are brilliant. I already know that. I know that because your father is. I know that because I am. I know that because I've seen you, felt you, heard you. These are the characteristics of the children that I raise. So I already know that that's what you got going on. Okay. 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 All right. Kalila, let's get back to doing this every week. Let's get back to that. If you guys like this, want to hear more of this, um, let me know you're listening. Please give me a shout out. Say, hey cousin, hey KB, we miss you. Come back. Say something. Then I'm gonna say. Then I'm like, okay, but all right. You know what I'm saying? All right. Until next time, I'll see you later. And now, as my kid, remember that I thought about you. I'm loving on you. I'm building for you right now. You know what's happening? You know what's happening? Right now, mommy is getting her finances together. Mommy is in a transition period from moving your grandmother when your grandmother was here. There was a lot of financial disruption because we didn't have any medical insurance. And so I took out loans and was paying things. So right now, things have gotten a little more regulated. I put my mommy in a home, and now I'm getting my finances together, building this business, staying open because you know what's happening next. You know what's happening next. What's happening next is your father's going to snatch me up, sweep me off my feet, and then we're going to have you. So just gear up for the rest of the story. Love you. Bye.